Simon, welcome back to tianblock.com. It's Thursday in Cannes, still quite busy, certainly quite noisy outside. How's it been for you so far?
It's been a busy week. We have had busy diary. I think it's been useful for us to start to build on the progress we've made in the channel so far, meet some interesting new partners hopefully that we can break into next year, but certainly looking forward to consolidating our position in the channel. I think it's been somewhat frustrating in that we continue to find not everyone's available for the full week when we're here. We're on Thursday, it's still relatively busy, but we'll see. But yeah, generally very positive week. Enjoyed it, met a lot of colleagues, a lot of industry friends, and hopefully we can turn those meetings into some new business in the year to come.
There's been a bit of gloom around the whisky market recently, and the forecast for next year is still looking a bit thin. Consolidation seems to be the key word at the moment. What's your feeling about the general global whisky trends at the moment?
I think if you look at spirits consumption globally, then the long-term trend of a very small decline every year is continuing. Around that, then you'll have pockets of variation. So for whisky in particular, you're looking at new world consumers finding new world whiskies, looking for something different, innovative, curious maybe about the styles of whisky, and that really really works for us.
Yeah, Penderyn is one, exactly.
At the same time, there is you have peaks and troughs in supply. So when there is a trough, the bigger guys will be lowering pricing, making it very difficult for everyone. And we see a little bit of that at the moment. In terms of market dynamics, our business in the UK, domestic market, is very solid, and that's the bulk of what we do. And then there are pockets of growth and pockets of challenge in the international business. The legacy markets in Europe still dominated by some economic woes. And the US market is clearly, I think everyone's saying that's a challenge in terms of premiumization. And China too has its challenges. So beyond that, we're seeing some growth in new geography. Look to open new markets in the next year, and we continue to be amazed by the growth in our business in particular, and I understand others too, in markets like Ukraine.
Well, I mean, you are a niche player in a big market. I mean, how have you performed in travel retail?
The travel retail performance 24 versus 23 has been stable. We've lost a little bit of gin business, but that's fine. I think it's consolidation of the gin category versus the boom that it clearly had in the previous years. Our whisky business continues to grow steadily. We've had some great activations in the UK duty-free this year, and we're continuing to roll those out next year, and listings and distribution getting stronger around airports in Europe. Different geographies now dynamics are opening up in Latin America, where there is a small but burgeoning single malt consumer, and Asia taking a little bit of time to open up the leads that we had from Singapore, but they're starting to flourish now. So yeah, it's been really good, and then we've got wider distribution if I can nail on the head the leads and the meetings we've had this week for next year, so it's looking very positive.
Well, that's good to hear, I have to say, but I mean, I'm still a little confused and even conflicted about these different trends that are occurring at the same time. You've got consolidation of the market, you've got prices probably going to collapse, which is not good for anybody, but that's to get rid of stock more than anything else, and retailers will bite your hands off. And then you've got ambition as well. I mean, these are three conflicting areas, and I guess everybody's juggling at the moment.
I think it's strange, and you're absolutely right. The other dynamic I think that's interesting from this week, as always, is that there are thousands of brands of all categories desperate to hit the shelves of a diminishing number of retailers, and that makes that conversation very hard. From a spirits perspective, you'll probably find multiple new brands hoping to break through. I can't see how they fit on the shelf. So what do you have as a brand that makes you different and challenging and interesting to a retailer who's prepared to listen to your story? And then when you're in the store, how do you tell that story to the consumer and make your brand come alive? So it is definitely a challenge, and you have to invest. The way forward is to invest, and the message to my own partners in the company is that we can't sit still. We have to move forward and invest in all aspects of the relationships we have with our customers and the business.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I mean, are you suggesting that there are many players here with a whole host of new products that have really a very limited chance of getting onto a shelf at all?
That's what I'm saying, and it's always been the case. It's lovely to see innovation, and it's great to see things happening, but I do think that the way that the duty-free travel retail industry evolves is, again, a period of consolidation and polarisation, big players with big brands, which makes the opportunity for smaller people, challengers to come in and to understand how they can give the security that the retailers are looking for in a quite insecure environment. That's the challenge, and that's what I think a lot of brand owners and companies who offer their brands to distributors don't understand.
I largely agree with that. I think also the fact is that any brand worth its salt, new brand that coming into the market, really has to have a very good narrative behind it to merit shelf space.
Yeah, I think we're all about...
Can't just be a me too.
No, for sure. We're about storytelling. We always have been. Finding the opportunities to tell the stories is what we need to do. And that takes time and it takes effort and a commitment from both the retailer, the cruise operator, the airline, whatever. That takes space and time and an intent to make it happen. When we've had people in here this week, they've tried our whiskies, they've tried our product, they understand the story, the 100% the answer's been wow. And they need to make that wow factor come alive in the business.
Agreed. So what have you been showcasing this week?
So for us in the next year, we'll be extending our travel retail core range with an extra 1 litre product with our sherry wood finish. And that will give the travel retailer 3 key 1 litre exclusives. We've also shared the great success we've had with some single cask exclusive products we've sold to China Duty Free and Avolta this year, so hoping to do more of those. And then, of course, we'll have the 12th in our limited edition series of the Icons of Wales. That will be called Penderyn Copperopolis, and that will celebrate the role that copper has in the whiskey making industry, and particularly our latest distillery in Swansea, which is located in a town where 60% of the world's copper used to be made.
Now, Simon, I normally ask you if there's 3 things to say, and you answer the same thing every time. Is it the same again?
I think it's pretty much the same. I mean, the travel retail industry is a super tanker chugging along that takes time to change course and direction. It's lovely to see new people coming in the industry. It's lovely to see change of course for some retailers expanding into new geographies. Let's hope they can really break through and bring a new lease of life maybe to some regions which need that little bit of a kick. I think it's great to see innovation coming into the industry as included. We just have to make sure that the business in its widest sense, retailers, operators, brands together, are prepared to make sure they're making the most of the travel retailer when they go into those retail spaces.
Simon, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter.